Everyone. So we're going to begin discussing the internal structures of the kidney. So with that said, I'm not going to discuss every single term because there are a lot on here, but I'm going to talk about some of the major ones, and then from here we can discuss them in class, as well as you can look through your book, as well as just make sure that you have a good understanding of what's going on inside the kidney. Right. So again, structure dictates function. And with that said, very first thing to discuss is the outermost layer, which is right here, the renal capsule. Right, so the capsule is going to cover the outside of the kidney. Right, so once we go through that renal capsule, we can see that up top here we have the cortex, which I'm going to highlight in blue here, which is going to be surrounding the outside of the kidney. And then we also have, just below it, you can see these renal pyramids, which are a little bit darker color, which are going to be these components of the kidney: cortex and the renal kidneys. All right, so you see the renal pyramids, you see the cortex, we saw the medulla, and we also can see these little spaces here, right? So where the renal pyramids connect, these little pieces right here are called calyxes, and we have minor and major and more specific ones. But the moral story is the urine is going to start to collect in these calyxes. So when urine is created, they're going to deposit into the calyxes, and eventually they can head out this major calyx to where it'll eventually get to the ureter. So again, blood comes in, gets filtered, and then the urine can exit through the ureter. Here's another image. You can see everything honestly a little bit easier from this image here. Blood supply. So we talked about this earlier. So the renal artery is going to carry blood into the kidney, as you can see here. I'll use purple, I guess, to show this. So again, the blood's going to come into the kidney. From here, it can continue to space out and travel throughout the cortex. And then after going through the cortex, it can go back into the renal pyramid. From here, the blood is going to be filtered, urine is going to be removed, and it is going to then travel out of the body, like we talked about in the last slide. The blood, however, is going to go from the arteries, and then it's going to exit the body through the veins and eventually through the renal vein. So there are multiple parts to the arteries and veins as they travel through the kidney, and you can see there's a lot of blood flow throughout the kidneys. In the future video, we're going to be talking about specifically how the kidney and its blood supply is filtered out at the smaller level, which are the nephrons, which we're going to get to shortly. But here you can just see an overview of how the blood is going to circulate throughout the kidney. Please do not overwhelm yourself with all these specific arteries. Just want you to get an idea of the pathway. Same thing with the veins, just get an idea of the pathway. Here's another image where you can see how these arteries and veins are going to branch out and get smaller and smaller. And then same thing here. So you can see specifically the different arteries and veins and how they travel throughout the cortex as well as through the renal pyramids. So at this time, if you have any questions about anything, please let me know.